All right. Are we good?
Yeah, that was just very awkward for me because we always clap on 4 and we do 4 of them. So it's like, oh, I feel so rushed.
Oh, nice. All right. Welcome everybody to another episode of UpUrXP podcast. We're in the 30-somethings now. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 33. And today we have a special guest joining oh my God, words. We have a special guest joining us, Fro Double G. How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty well. Besides getting covered in syrup at work, that was interesting.
That is a time.
I work at Amazon, and there was a busted bottle of syrup that was like wrapped in some bubble wrap, right? But I didn't know it was broken, obviously, and just fucking poured it. Oh, can I swear on this one?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Well, I should have clarified that first. But yeah, then I just poured like syrup, just ended up going all down my arm and like on my sleeve and on the side of my my belly and like man boob, and it was all nasty and sticky. It was not a good time. It was not a good time.
That doesn't sound fun. Did that happen at the beginning of the day? Because that's a terrible way to start the day.
It happened like damn near at noon, like halfway through the shift. So it's like,
okay.
And I have a sick kid at home. So I was like, the day is not it for me. So I'm gonna head on home. I come to find out the kid's not quite as sick. I mean, she's running a bit of a fever, but she runs a little warm anyways. But maybe not quite as sick as she had us believe.
I got you. I dealt with Logan being sick like 2 weeks ago, and that kid was like a poopy machine. I was like, how? How is there still poop in your body? You're 2.
Oh no, young kids when they're sick are horrible because it's just cleaning up bodily fluid. Honestly, let's be real.
And you never know. You never know. And then Luke had an issue like later in the week, and I was like, how did this happen? And I was like, and this is being a parent. But Fro, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do besides Amazon?
Yeah, besides Amazon. Well, I am one of the co-hosts of Battleground of the Gods podcast, a Smite-focused podcast, though we do go on quite a few tangents, obviously, like that right there. I am a ex-Olympian. I think it was season 6. Yeah, like 2 years ago, season 6 Olympian. I was the PS4 non-conquest Olympian. But I have since then switched to PC, and I'm still torn. I think I'm going to apply for Olympian this year on PC, but I'm still not 100%.
You still debating? I wrote out my application after I got temp banned from the website.
yeah, known issue, by the way.
Yeah, known issue
know about that.
It's a feature, not a bug. It's a feature. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of torn because. So I basically, besides being, spoiled because they would tell everything ahead of time, be like, hey, yo, this is, what we're going to do the next patch or what we're thinking of. They would let the Olympians know that, and they don't let the ex-Olympians know that anymore because we're not under an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Basically, we're not under contract anymore, whereas previously I was, so there was things I literally couldn't talk about without potentially being sued. Now that's not really an issue, so they don't let us know that stuff again. But I can pretty much I still have all the benefits. Like I'm still in a Discord. They have a Discord for all the old Olympians. I can still talk to the developers. I can still report bugs. I can still do all of that stuff. So I am kind of torn. It's like I can still pretty much do it all. I just don't get all the stuff told to me. So
right.
Maybe I just don't and let someone else do it, right? Not that I'm like, I'll be a nice guy because I'm going to take the chance, give someone else an opportunity. But it is kind of one of those, like, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really think I'm going to be the one who takes the position, but there is a chance.
Right.
So maybe I should
there's a bunch of people applying.
Yeah, good. Although
especially
I think
for like non-conquest.
Yeah, they should definitely do it different than they did last year, though. And I understand all the non-conquest ones because Smite has conquest is one of 6 game modes.
Yeah,
it is the main one, but it's one of 6.
we talked about it the other day. I want them to fix the voting. I want it to be where you can vote for one delegate in each category, not just 3 delegates.
Yeah, I think that the 3 delegate, it probably sounded good at first because it's like, oh, you can vote for one Xbox, one PlayStation, and one PC person.
Yeah, but now we have Switch, we have international delegates. Like, I think there just needs to be one in each category. And even if, like, and I know it would be a lot, like maybe even like one conquest, one non-conquest for each one. I don't know. Maybe that's too much, but like, what are they really doing? They're just tallying vote numbers. So to me, it seems confusing why they wouldn't go that way and get a better representation for the community of what they want. But at the same time, I understand limiting the number of votes because you want those votes to be, I guess, more worth something. I don't know.
Here's where I'm a little confused because, like, anyone who's been, a voting American out here, you go to the ballot, right?
Yeah.
You have your different categories with all the candidates, and you're allowed to vote per category on one of the candidates.
It's crazy.
It's a system that they developed a long time ago, and I think it can easily be mimicked, where you just have a list of candidates for each section. Here's all the PC Conquest people. Here's all that. And it is a lot of votes. It is.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I think they get a better
it's still
representation.
Just one vote per person per category. So it's not like it's going to be, as long as they can set it up that way, which shouldn't be that hard, I imagine. But one vote per person per category is still just one vote per person.
Yeah, I just think it gives a better representation because then I'm not deciding like, oh, do I vote for this non-conquest person or do I vote for the conquest person? Or do I only vote Xbox and PC? Or do I vote international? And you know what I mean? I just feel like, why am I having to decide with my 3 votes of which categories to choose from? Why am I not just given one per category? So I hope that is something that's looked at. I also hope that maybe the weeding out sounds like a terrible phrase, but that not everybody just gets through the voting phase. I hope there's a little bit more.
They call the proper term vetting.
Yeah, there we
vetting.
go.
That's how
vetting.
How you make it sound nice. The vetting process.
Yeah, what we used to do for teams in BOTG League. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Vetting.
Vetting.
Throwbacks. Well, we talked a little bit about Olympians. Fro, you got any games you want to talk about this week?
So I've been saying this a lot over on BOTG, but I haven't been playing a bunch of Smite really. Mainly because I've been just enjoying playing some other stuff. If you don't have Epic and you're on PC, download Epic because every month they give out 1 to 2 games for free, and I don't mean
sometimes
like
more
bullshit games.
Yeah.
Some are kind of bullshit games, but other ones are like full-fledged games. Like I've gotten Civ 5 from them. I've gotten Grand Theft Auto 5. A bunch of games. I'm playing Avon Colony right now, which has been pretty fun. They hand out the Borderlands, Tiny Tina, Assault on Dragon's Keep DLC, which I downloaded and I've been playing that recently.
They have a bunch of games this month. Like from till the 20 from now through December 2nd is 5 games, 5 titles.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to pop that open. Remind me when we're done. I'll take a look.
But they're always like giving out some like free stuff, and a lot of the games are good. Like most of my Epic's library right now is from the free games that they give out, and there's been tons of them, and they're like full-fledged games that are well known. Some are indie, but like who cares? They've all been like good titles. Like they did the Batman Arkham Knight series or the Arkham series. All those for free at one point.
I missed that one, unfortunately. That's when I'm like, I need to actually stay on top of. Actually, like keeping track of or paying.
I'll make sure to remind you because I always make sure to open it up and check. Like, I am on that regularly, and I'll be like, "Hey, peeps, these are free games." And then there's people that be like, "Well, I don't like Epic Store," and I was like, "You don't like free video games? Got it? Okay, noted."
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. If I go to buy a game, I buy it on Steam. Right?
Yeah.
Unless it's not
100%.
available on Steam and it's only available on Epic, which doesn't generally happen. But I have Epic because they hand out fucking free games. Like,
They also give like free $10 coupon codes sometimes. And
oh
then
yeah,
as long as the game's
yeah.
like over $15, you get $10 off. So sometimes like I'll grab some stuff on there.
And combined
But
with shit that's on sale, like I don't think the Epic Store is bad at all. Like,
no.
it might not be the best launch or whatever, but no, there's some fucking deals on there. But yeah. That's so basically that is why I've been not playing some Smite. It's because they hand out so many fucking games that I have quite the catalog built up. And I just went and got a SSD not too long ago.
Nice.
So lots of downloads and all that. So it's like, oh, okay, now that I can like have multiple things downloaded and let my ADD kick in and just fucking play whatever game I want, I've been getting a little distracted and haven't been playing the Smite as much. But
I feel that.
This latest patch though has been rather interesting and rather fun. So I actually have gotten in a few games over this past week in comparison to what I have been doing. I mean, I say that, realistically, it's been like fucking 15 games in the past week.
Yeah, I haven't played a ton, but I've got to play a little bit, and I will say the patches felt pretty good.
Yeah, that's one thing I'd have to say. I say I haven't played much, and it's been like 15 games in the past week, which to some, that's like, oh shit, that's more than I play in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always got a context with everything.
Yeah, I haven't played as much, but that's because of other things, which I'll get to in a bit. But you I know we played some assaults and other stuff. Did you play mostly assault? Did you play anything else?
I play mostly assault. It is my favorite game mode. Although I have been getting a little bored of it lately, so I've kind of been shifting a little more towards playing some Conquest more than I have assault. But the people I'm with, like I play a lot on Wednesday with Stoffmeister, he really likes playing assault, so we usually just queue that. And plus he's EU, I'm NA. One of us has ping issues, especially like because we'll switch up. We usually do, if you have more Americans, NA. If you have more Europeans, EU. It's only fair, right?
Right.
And his brother will join us, or other people who are available throughout the day on Wednesdays will join us. But we'll usually stick to assault. Sometimes we will come over and play some Conquest, but it does vary. I do enjoy Conquest as my second favorite game mode. But this week has pretty much so been assault, because you don't have to think. So that's why I've been playing it. But there is one game that I do want to bring up. And it's nothing spectacular. It was just a 6-3 and 10 on Cucullin in assault.
Ooh.
So they buffed Mystical Mail, but then they did turn around and nerf it this patch. But the changes to it, that feels really nice. It's not a huge difference, but you can feel it. Your Mystical Mail still feels somewhat relevant.
Right.
And being able to like justify building that on a Cucullin in the assault, which you don't need much to justify it, but to be like, no, this is the choice. It was pretty good. I'm a big fan of Cucullin anyways. I do have a Cucullin tattoo on my forearm.
I love Cucullin. He's one of my favorite warriors.
Yeah. He's him and Gilgamesh in Shock. But I have fallen off the love for Shock Daddy a little bit. Just because he's not as fun on PC. I'll say it. He's not as enjoyable. Console, that dude, he feels great to smash some axes. On PC, it doesn't have that. I don't know.
I could agree with that. From playing Shock on console to PC, like he's one of those guys that does feel better on console.
Heimdall's the same way. Heimdall feels like he was made to be played on a controller. On keyboard, I don't know. It's just not as fun.
I haven't played Heimdall as much on controller as I have Chalk, but I believe it. Like whenever I play Heimdall, I'm not like woo. He just feels okay.
I had a very serious problem before I switched to PC about playing Heimdall.
Yeah, didn't you get like 2,000 worshippers in like the first few months he was out?
It was like the first month. the first month I'm picking up a star on this dude, and that's not and assault's my main game mode, right?
Yeah.
So I'm picking those up in other game. I'm not gonna lie, at that point I was like, fuck, queue me up for anything as long as I can pick Heim Daddy.
Yeah, I remember that because I joined games. You're like, as long as I can play Heimdall, and I'm like, that sounds good to me, man. Sounds good to me. I was that way with Dons and Burrow. I just like his kit. I was like, I can play this guy anywhere, and I did. I think there was a BOTG episode where someone's like, we should do a Hat of Purgatory where it's 5 wins and 5 rolls in a row, and I was like, well, in a row part's a little extreme, but 5 wins and 5 rolls as a certain god, I'm down. I think I started it, and I got 3 wins in a row, and it was Donza jungle, Donza support, Donza solo, and then I lost the carry game, and I was like, I hate everything.
Yeah, I'd be torn on whether or not I'd do Shock or Erlang, because I think they would excel.
I do too.
All I'm thinking is like, man, their roughest one is playing ADC, and if you cheese it with a good support,
yeah,
like, I've done Erlang and Kakulin ADC. Like, I've done them.
Oh, dude, they feel so good. I personally
have done them in all roles, so it's like,
yeah,
I could probably manage that.
I think Achilles I could do. I think Achilles.
He might be a little tricky in ADC.
ADC would be the problem, but like,
yeah,
I've ran him in support, and it felt like I was an ADC, so like, it might be okay. I don't know. But that would be another one I'd think about.
It depends on the sport. Just run a fucking kill lane.
Yeah.
By the way, that's always the key. If you want to play any cheeky shit in ADC, just run a kill lane. Pick a super hyper aggressive support and just put the enemy behind so you can get a lead with your cheesy, stupid pick.
Yep, just W key for days.
Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't work within the first 5 minutes, you're probably just going to lose that match. Accept it. Please fucking F6 and get on to the next one. Don't make me sit here for 35 minutes playing this stupid shit that's clearly not going to work. Unless you decided to do that to a bunch of randos and you're not actually like grouped up with some people, and in that case, you're probably an asshole.
Yeah, you're that guy. And then
you are that guy.
And you don't want to be that guy.
No.
You just don't. You got any other games you want to talk about, or just that? I know you've been playing a lot of Borderlands and stuff, but I don't know if anything crazy has been happening there.
Assault, that's or as far as Smite, that's really just it. Because the other ones are nothing fancy. Besides the fact that like getting a chance to play with my buddy Sadons, another EU guy. He's been pretty busy lately, so we haven't really been able to get many games in. And I don't know. My other friend Backlash and we kind of pulled in and put some funds together and sent them to Sadons to help get him a new PC. So he's got a
nice
quality PC. Yeah, so he's switched over, but he's from PlayStation, as I was. So basically, he's back to level 1 with no skins, nothing, having to learn how to play on keyboard. So it's been nice being able to get a few games within him because they just haven't had the opportunity really since he made the switch. Like minimal chances.
I feel so bad for the PlayStation community,
dude. For real.
I just give them their skins, man. You don't have to do anything else after that. Just give them the content they paid for. Like every time I hear about it, it hits me in the heartstrings, and I feel so bad for them. It's just ridiculous, and I don't really know what Sony gains from not allowing them to have what they've already paid for, because the money's already taken. It's already been spent. So like, why just not let them have the cross progression from there? And at that point, if you want to say, hey, we're going to lock the currency to our platform if you purchase on our platform, then I don't think people are going to be as mad.
No, that's how it is on everything else.
Yeah, Xbox PC, it actually is back and forth. It is on Xbox PC. You can buy an either or, but on everything else, that's the way it is. Just do that. Just let them have their stuff. Like, why are you holding things that they paid for hostage? I will never understand it. They do the same thing with Rogue Company, and that's mind-boggling.
I think it's because like the whole thought process is like we're gonna try to entice people not to leave.
You're making them
But
want
it's like,
to.
well, it
Yeah.
like my case. I
Right.
would still play on PlayStation. I would set my PlayStation up in the fucking living room, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like if the wife wanted to come to bed and she wanted me to be quiet, I would go play in the living room, right? I would get a
Right.
keyboard or something, or I would just play on controller because whatever. But right now, it's like why?
Yeah, you don't get any
Like
of
my
your
friends
progression.
list
Why
aren't
bother?
matched up, so it's like I got make sure you add me on both accounts, right? Like it's just a hassle. The accounts aren't linked, so it's like let's say I get a fucking bug up my ass and I want to play some ranked, which I rarely do,
Mm-hmm.
but if I wanted to, there's that. Um, yeah,
The whole thing's
it's
just irritating.
just it's just a bit more of a hassle because, like, for instance, my PlayStation, when I go to play Assault, it's about leveled out now because I've played so many on my PC.
Yeah.
But, there was a while where, according to Smite Guru, which isn't 100% accurate, right? It's not even super accurate. It's only somewhat. But for 2 years in a row, according to their quote unquote ranking system or their ELO, I was in the top. Well, 1 year I was in the top 100 ELO for PS4 Assault, and another year I was in the top 50 ELO for PS4 Assault.
Holy.
So that's a little skewed, right? I get some fucking, like, you gotta sweat when I'm on my PlayStation Assault queues. PC, I don't.
Dude, I've had some sweaty Assault games.
To the fact where, like, I have played almost 4,000. Like, I bet I could add it up, and I bet I have at least 4,000 Assault. Last time I checked, it was at 3.2, and that was like a year ago. So it's probably safe to say I got 4,000 Assault games played with both my accounts combined. But because it's so split, I still have people. Like, you were with me earlier this week, I think. Or no, I think it might have been with Stoffmeister. Where
I was with you this week, too. We played one. Actually, we played two.
Were you in the one where the person bought nothing but T1 items?
No.
Like, they left the base with nothing but T1 items, not including the starter.
God.
Not including the starter.
No
And it's
way,
like,
dude.
I have played, like, if this was on my other account, like, that didn't happen to me.
Right.
Right? And if it did, you know that person was trolling.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Dead ass. Like, it caught me off guard when, like, a couple months ago, someone tried to back. They walked all the way back to the fountain. I'm like, oh my God.
No way, dude.
Why do I got to deal with this? I've played so much. But again, my account is only technically, I think I'm at like 90 right now.
Right. That's still wild, though, that at this point in time, there's people still doing that. They get into the same queues with you. Like, that's wild.
Smite's growing. Could be new players.
Yeah, it could be new players, but it's always crazy when new players get matched with that much with someone with that much experience. It's just wild to me. And I know, like,
PC though, I've only played like 1,000 games.
Right. I know, and it could be just the time of day being queued, right? Or if you depending on who you have queued in your party,
a Wednesday
all that
morning,
stuff. Right.
But there is also another thing too that it's not as bad. So matchmaking, as long as they haven't changed anything, and this is as far as my understanding when I would talk to the devs. So they have I think it's 1 to 15. I could be wrong. It could be level 1 to level 30, account level.
Mm-hmm.
They try to group you together, like the best they can.
Right.
Like it's one of their little check marks when they do matchmaking. Try to group everyone in this category. The next group is from 30 to 60, right? And try to group everyone in that category or as close to as possible. From there, I believe it goes from 60 to 120.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And then from 120 to 160.
Cap. Yeah.
So there is still a chance. I mean, obviously you run this chance in any day or on any account, you know, depending on population, where servers you're queuing into, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But so I still technically fall under that level 60 to level 120.
Right.
So when they're like, oh, okay, let's try to, we can't find people. Let's try to pull from the level 30 to 60 category. It's like, yo, but on my PlayStation, I'm fucking halfway to level 160.
Yeah.
And
I'm still grinding to get there one day.
Yeah, if you know how much experience that takes, let me explain this for you real quickly. So
yeah, it's
to
so
get
bad,
from
dude.
level
It's so bad.
From level 1 to a level 150 is the same amount of experience on your account, right? Account level, as it is to get from 150 to 160.
That's so wild, dude.
So when you get, if they might have changed,
Yeah, and it could have, but that's still crazy.
I could have numbers wrong. It could be at 140, but I just hit my fucking mic. Imagine that. So, and it could have been I got the number wrong. It could have been like 145 or whatever. But last I knew, that's how it worked out. So it's like, wow, I was literally almost 160. Another one, it never tried to pair me with lower level accounts. Which again, I'm not trying to hate on you, lower level accounts. I'm probably the guy you want to run into because I'm not going to rage at you. Matter of fact, when the person starts bitching at you, I'm going to be the one to tell them to shut the fuck up and play the game.
I've been doing that a lot lately. Someone in my league queue the other day, I was playing with Nefrail, and she goes, "You're just too nice." And I was like, no, these people need to know that what they're doing right now is not okay. And me stooping to their level is not going to help. But if I tell them like, yo, what are you doing? Just play the game and quit being an idiot. It just goes over so well. I don't know what it is, but every time I do it, they stop. I had a guy that a few weeks ago, I'd played with him in an amateur league against him, and he was BMing me in a game. And I was like, yo, I was wrong here, but if you just bought wards, the rest of this wouldn't happen. And then he starts going at me again, and our soul laner Anubis goes, "Can you just chill?" I said, "Bro, I'm so chill." I said, "But I'm just letting you know, if someone's going to BM me, I'm going to put them on blast so they know, because this shouldn't be happening." And then the guy that was BMing me goes, "Yeah, BMing people is terrible." And then he didn't say anything the rest of the game. But it's just like, I'm not going to let people not only BM me, but also BM other people, because you never know. Like, I had someone that was like, they went 0-10 in a game in mid, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, dude, it's all good. It's a casual match. Like, that's just the way of the road sometimes. It sucks, but it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah, I've taken what I've liked to refer to as an aggressive stance against toxicity.
Yeah.
And it's just, it really is, first off, a lot of bullies, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not used to people actually standing up to them for themselves, or others standing up for other people. It catches them off guard. That's what bullies thrive on.
True.
Is no one saying shit back. I'll clap back. So a lot of times that just fucking deflates their balloons right away. Right? As soon as you say anything, they're like, "Oh shit, like, oh, I don't know what to do." Actual confrontation. I'm actually kind of a bit of a bitch behind my keyboard. They'll shut up a lot of times.
Yeah, they're like, what do you mean you say words back?
Yeah, right. And the other thing is, like, I'll just come in there and I will just type, "Shut the fuck up and play the game."
True story. I've been there. Seen it happen.
Literally, that will be my conversation. Shut the fuck up and play the game. Mute.
I tell that to people all the time.
It's
just mute them.
So wonderful.
They're not going to say anything useful ever.
No.
Like, there's like a 1% chance. 1%.
Yeah, 1 in 100 will actually like check themselves and be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Now,
and when that happens, it's a beautiful thing.
Now, I will give a bit of context here, because if anyone who's been listening to BOTG for a while will know, I admitted, fucking young baby Smite Fro was a toxic motherfucker. I really was. I was super toxic, right? First, I don't want to cut too many excuses or anything like that, but it was like 7 years ago at this point, or 6 years ago at this point, and it's like, yo, I was 24. Nah, not a great excuse, but anyone who's above 30 will understand, or at least close to 30. You'll get it.
Yeah, I got something to go with this after you're done, actually,
Yeah.
to piggyback off this. Yeah.
So I used to be that dude who would talk mad shit. I would say all sorts of fucking things. Never anything like racist or anything like that. Obviously, I'm not a piece of shit human. But I would, obviously like, oh, fuck you, you trash this game, stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. On PlayStation. So, couldn't let me hit you up on PSN.
Yeah.
Until someone clapped back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just clapped back, and it was this game where I was just like, yo, it was like an arena, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're trash. What? Like, come on. Like, I don't remember the context. It was just me being toxic. Until the dude hop on his headset, right? Because I was talking in-game, saying this shit.
Right.
He hops on his headset, and he's like, yo. And I used to work third shift, by the way. This is at like 8:30 in the morning. This dude's like, hops on, he's like, yo, how about you shut the fuck up? I just got off from work. I'm just trying to sit here and fucking smoke a joint and play some Smite. And you're being a bitch. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, this dude just called me out. And you know what? I'm just trying to do the same exact thing. Like, oh my God. Like,
yep.
I am the one in the wrong here. Like, I am the party pooper. Oh, fuck me. And then here's another little bit of like, not trying to make excuses, but I was a little bit of the COD mentality when I came. I just hit my fucking mic again. So I had a bit of the COD mentality coming in. I'm like, yo, this seems like, a competitive game, or this is what people do. And like the people I played with at the time, they were a bit toxic. And it took me a minute to kind of realize that. Because, when you're a little bit younger, sometimes you don't quite catch on to what's actually being toxic. And I just thought that they're a bit of trash talkers, no big deal. And until I realized, I'm like, no, I'm kind of surrounding myself with a bunch of toxic people.
And toxicity is one of those things, like, when it happens, like, it just, like, catches fire sometimes. Like, in when it's in groups. And it's so hard to, like, realize it when you're in it.
Right, like, real quickly, it goes from, like, joking around, like, get shit on, kid, you suck, to turning into actual BM, where you're messaging that person and saying it. You want to just, laugh with the boys saying, like, oh, you fucking, joke at the dude missing his ability. Whatever, that's fine. You guys can joke amongst yourself. It's when you start DMing and, like, calling them out, having to say shit in fucking lobby or in-game chat. That's when you're moving into toxic territory. You should shut the fuck up. But yeah, so I removed all the toxic people that I played with. One of which was actually like a GM player that was like teaching me how to play the game. So it's like, damn, this dude hard carried me constantly, but it's like, no, I just can't. You might be teaching me how to play well, but you're not teaching me how to play nice.
Yeah,
so,
and that's one of those things. Like, it's so hard to learn.
Yeah. So I just removed that, and I've just taken a lot more of a laid back. Don't get me wrong, I'm still human. I get a little angry every once in a while. But again, the mute feature works great, not only on the enemy, but yourself. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, mute your mic and say it so no one can hear you. Right?
Yo, I have talked about that so much this year, especially when the Smite drama happened earlier in the year. I'm like, yo, that mute button, though. Imagine.
It
does wonders.
It's just like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Except for you get to actually physically say it so you can feel a little better, right? It's like a venting thing. It'll help you out. But then, like, no one has to hear your toxic shit. So you actually, like, no one responds to you. It's like, okay. And then you can come back when you're ready. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard, people. Just don't be a
100%. So my thing to go with this is, like, when I was in probably my earlier 20s, I was like, I used to always play Madden. Used to get super pissed off all the time. Would talk crap all the time. And like it wouldn't be like horrible, but it was toxic to an extent. Like it was. And I remember there was one day I was just chilling, I was talking with my wife, and I just like, why do I bother? And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, why do I bother getting so upset at this video game when like I'm supposed to be playing it to have fun? And that's when I started taking this outlook of there's always something to learn. There's like always like a silver lining in something. And instead of just being super angry, and don't get me wrong, I still get mad at video games from time to time. Like, look for the positive that's there. Like, you might have sucked ass that game. You might have been that guy that went 0-10. But like, damn, you know what not to do next time to go 0-10. Like, you're definitely correcting that for next game. And I've taken that approach. I think about too, like when I used to play Guild Wars and I used to command, we'd be in TeamSpeak and we'd have a separate channel that we could toggle into that it wouldn't remove us from the channel we're talking in, but it would put everybody in the same whisper call. And like, if someone was doing something stupid, like I would let like, it would be me and a couple officers. And like, if you had something you need to say to get off your chest and you just needed someone to hear it and just be like, yeah, man, I get it. You just pressed whatever your button was for that. It took you out of the call. So you're muted there. And it only went to those few people. Because that helped get rid of some of that toxicity in our group. It helped make sure that, yeah, maybe you got mad at somebody that died on the first push, but really and truly, it doesn't matter, but you're upset. And like, how can we adjust for that later? But you just need to get that off your chest and let somebody know that they heard it. Because sometimes that's what it takes is just having someone to listen to you for a minute and then be like, yo, you're wrong for this, but I get what you're saying, and go from there. I think that's a hard thing to grow from, though.
I'm definitely no psychologist by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But see, anger is a tricky emotion, right? And we're all just humans.
It sure is.
Sometimes I just need you to validate me being angry. Like, I'm not wrong for this, am I?
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I'm not saying, like, just like you said, just let me vent real quick because I want to make sure I'm not in the wrong here, right? And again, this is how you vent. Are you venting by basically being toxic and raging? Raging's not venting. That's just being mad.
Yeah, it's being mad.
And it ain't going to get you anywhere. Or are you like venting to look for the validation, to get the things off your chest, be like, okay, well, now we move on.
Yeah, we talked about this in a positive. So since I coach or whatever, we do our professional development. We do work with Positive Coaching Alliance, and they talk about like the brush off mechanic or something like that. And it's really like you're just brushing it off, just brush off your shoulder. And that's simply what it is. Like you're just like, you need to get it out. You need, like you said, you need to be validated, and then boom, it's gone. You move on. And sometimes that's all you need, just to get rid of that negative emotion. And that's fine. Like that's perfectly acceptable. And you're doing that without being a toxic douchebag.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's not like, I'm not even necessarily looking to make sure that I'm right. Just let me know I'm not wrong. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the one who stepped out of line. Right.
Yeah. I had a guy when I stole Gold Fury a couple weeks ago. He told me that I should have saved his life and not stole Oni. And I was streaming
situations. I don't know the situation, but I can tell you right here with no context, there's times where both of you are right.
Yeah, and there was. But like this guy was on Donzenboro. Gold Fury was at half health, and he decides to go into 4 people in his rocket. And I'm like, that is not the move, bro. Like you are asking to die. I'm on Nike playing solo, and I'm like, I was waiting. I'm like, they get it to a quarter health. I go in first and we take this fight. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Donzenboro has other plans. Donzenboro goes in. I steal Gold Fury. He dies. I get out. Another person decided to go in and try to help him for some reason. They die too. And they're both mad. And I said, look, you can be mad. That's fine. You might have think I'm wrong. That's okay too. I stole Oni Fury. And since they were ahead, I got the pressure away for us for a little bit to where we can try to fight back into this game, to which we did. We ended up winning that game. And I asked chat in the middle of it, like, because I was streaming, I said, yo, am I in the wrong here? Like, let me know. if I was in the wrong, like, please let me know so I can like think about that for the next time I decide to do that same type of move. Because that's something
that situation from what you just explained to me right there, it depends on communication. If Donza would have said that he was going in, maybe you were in the wrong.
Yeah,
maybe,
but the problem is
maybe.
it was no comms.
So,
that's the problem.
No comms, so he didn't. So how are you supposed to know? And even then, let's say you see the mistake, but it's too late to help the motherfucker. Like,
yeah, I'm like, you're dead. You dead, bro.
So now the better plan is to, if you're going to remain there, to steal the Gold Fury. So I'd say after him getting killed, the call to secure or to steal was I get no context besides from what you just explained. Probably the play.
Yeah,
probably
but
the
I
play.
do that.
And the
I
other
do that on
person
stream.
who hopped in, they were probably wrong too.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I do on stream. Like if I made a mistake or I'm getting BM'd for something, I'm like, yo, please tell me, chat, is what this person is saying true? Because if it is, then I need to correct what I'm doing. And I'm cool with that. Like, I'm all about constructive criticism as long as it's brought in a way that is constructive and not just being an asshole to be an asshole. Like that's what I'm about.
Right.
I guess I should talk about my games of the week real quick. 40 minutes in. I don't really have anything to. No, it's all good, dude. I love going off topic a little bit, and that's what that's what Up Your Experience is about. Is like learning about some stuff that isn't necessarily like just the gram. Yo, I do it more often than I care to admit to, so it's okay. Actually, I'm gonna keep this short because I had some like funny games this week. I played an assault after last week's recording with Kenny and Vio, and our whole entire team was tanks. And I was like, no shot we win this, and we ended up winning.
Ooh,
we had Cthulhu, Kuzumbo, and like I don't even remember who else, but I was Kuzin, and I had a blast. There's nothing better than pushing people through the wave and then watching them not know what's about to happen.
People forget how much damage that is because each minion you hit is another instance that procs it in a full wave.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Let me tell you.
Anyone who plays solo will tell you a level 1 Kuzumbo push will fuck.
Yeah, like I learned that the hard way. You want to know who I learned that from? Bryce, because he pushed me through a wave during a league match and I died. I was so hot, dude. I was like, this is what I get for that one time we ganked him before minions spawned in middle lane. I deserve this.
Ironically, Bryce used to hate Kuzumbo.
Oh, I know. When he picked him, I was shocked. Because that was around that time where he was like, oh, I hate Kuzumbo, he sucks. And he picked Kuzumbo and absolutely stomped me. I was not in a good mood about it.
Do you know what changed his mind about Kuzumbo?
What was that?
Finding out you could level 1 push people through the wave and kill.
I'm glad I could help with that. That feels good. I played some League. I got dumpstered. I did a solo queue, not the move. I played like one of my best characters in the game, and it went bad. And then I played with some people after that and did even worse. And then Halo launched Monday, Halo Infinite Multiplayer. Shout out to Microsoft for on their 20th anniversary actually doing something dope and doing it was rumored at this point, but a surprise launch of Halo Multiplayer. For all the people out there complaining that it doesn't have all the game modes, it's a beta. Be happy that there's something rather than nothing. I had some like sick plays. And it's free. And the multiplayer is free. Free. FREE.
My God. I'm going to derail you again.
You're good. I'm okay with this because it's Halo related and I love Halo.
No, this isn't about Halo. This is regarding
it's about Halo.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, my work went out and bought every employee. And I talked to Bright, another person who lives in Oklahoma and works in Amazon. And it happened to him. So, I'm going to assume nationwide. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming. Bought all of us lunch one day. And it was actually, for me, pretty fucking good turkey with some gravy, potatoes. It was Thanksgiving, got some stuff in. It was a good fucking roll. Had some like the butter, the cinnamon butter, honey butter to go with it. Great meal. Right? Even if it had to cost like $10, but even if it was $5, great. I appreciate it. You know how many motherfuckers were bitching about that? Dude, some of you guys gotta just stop and just say thank you for some shit. Epic, thank you for all your fucking free games. Microsoft, thank you for releasing that for fucking free. Amazon, thanks for the fucking free meal. Like, sometimes just take the fucking free thing, say thank you, and just go on. If you don't it, don't take it and shut the fuck up.
I said thank you for this meal that they served us at work the other day. Right. Okay. First of all, Kappa, the people that did our like parent association thing today, that food was banging. That was so good. But a couple weeks ago at professional development, they said, "Oh, hey, what do you want to eat?" All right. I had once got this like chicken salad, wasn't vibing with it, but like I ate it. It was all right. And then last year I got the turkey sandwich, and it was just a plain turkey sandwich, no condiments. And I was like, whatever, at least it's a good turkey sandwich. Like, had lettuce, had turkey, had cheese if you want it, bread, you know, the necessary things. Right. This year, they put cranberry jam on my sandwich, bro. And I tried it. I did a no thank you bite. I said thank you. Not for me. And that's okay. Hold up. Weird. Yep.
Do you call it a no thank you bite in your house too?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
you bet.
My kids, they hate it, but on the same hand, they've discovered they like some shit. My daughter's, so I have a 14-year-old daughter. Her friend came over one time, or not one time, came over like 3 weeks ago. First time she'd stayed at our house. And I think we had chicken nuggets for lunch the next day or whatever, right? And we end up getting this Chick-fil-A sauce, like some fucking knockoff brand. And I'm like, all right, guys, your mom said we had to try this because it's fucking like $2 a bottle cheaper. So we're going to fucking switch to it if it tastes good enough. So we try it. And then the girl was over here. She's like, oh, I've never had Chick-fil-A sauce. Like, oh,
that's a crime.
Okay. So I grabbed out the bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce, right? And I did a little dab on her plate of that. And then I did a little dab of the off-brand one. She's like, oh, I don't really... Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm like, unfortunately, we do no thank you bites in this house. Yeah. She's like, what? And I'm like, I'm not forcing you to take a bite. All I'm going to do is heavily suggest that you do a bite of each just to try it. And she did. But, you know, I thanked her for it. It's like, again, I'm not forcing you. You're fucking 14. I can't make you eat your fucking chicken nuggets. But in this house, don't get me wrong, my little kids, the 6 and 7, no, you're gonna fucking try it. Like,
oh yeah. I do that to Luke. Luke's like, I don't know about this. I'm like, you're gonna try it because it's a no thank you bite, and he'll try it, and he's like, no thanks. I'm like, all right, thanks, man.
The teenager at this point, I'm like, nah, you're old enough. You've definitely developed. Not saying that the young ones haven't, but they just are lacking the experience.
Right.
Whereas the 13-year-old, it's like, nah. I don't have to. Yeah, you're good. Well, you don't have to.
Yeah. Bro, no one was around. I took the no thank you bite anyway, just out of principle. Not that, and not good, not good. I was also confused. I don't eat cheese on sandwiches. It's my own thing. But why was pepper jack cheese with the cranberry jam? There was just a lot of weird things with that sandwich going on.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah,
cranberry jam, pepper jack cheese, turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
Next, you're gonna say this was on white bread, and I'm gonna.
It was on white bread.
Oh my god!
They told me it was an homage to Thanksgiving, and I'm not kidding you.
That's the worst bread. If you're gonna homage, first off, put that on like something more like a fucking ciabatta,
anything else,
like something more roll like or something.
It was so bad. No. Oh. It was so bad. I tried it and I was like, this is actually awful. And then I was in this predicament because we had a 5-year photo in like 20 minutes from there. And I was like, I want to go get something healthy to eat, but I don't have that option. So I went to Arby's and that was my backup plan. It was good. Still good. Better than that turkey sandwich for sure.
Yeah, back to like Smite and games and stuff. My bad.
Yeah, back to Halo real quick. I got
about turkey.
I got the hammer. The gravity hammer on Halo Infinite has like an actual like wind up swing because it's heavy, unlike the old Halo games where you just like slammed it down. I hit a warthog with it with a group of people in it, and they all just exploded. And I think that's my funnest thing of the week in Halo. Beyond the fact of I loaded into a game and we were down in capture point 146-12, and we came back and won the game. And like the winning score, I think is like 175 or 200 or something like that. But to be down 146-12 is insane.
Yeah.
Other than that,
goddamn,
we played some assaults this week. We did the first one with Boss, and we had 2 randoms. I was on Soul, and we just ran it down. It was such a fast assault game. And then the second game, Boss got kicked in the lobby, so we had Kenny with us, and I was Charybdis, and I thought I was going to get a penta that game. I didn't, because they ran away, but I was really feeling good about it. And then I casted Liani's set. If you want to watch some good Smite, the Hyper Noob set I casted on Wednesday night went 1-1 because they don't do best of 3s. It's just 2 matches and done in Vulpes for some reason. The second game was insane. And then Nev gave me a great idea, Fro, if you haven't tried this yet, because I know you love Gilgamesh. I failed at it very badly. But Corrupted Arena Gilgamesh. And you just drop kick people into the pit.
I have definitely wanted to give that a shot.
Yeah, I gave it a go.
Corrupted Arena since the patch.
Well, the first game I got on her because someone got Gilgamesh. The second game I got Gilgamesh, and I got just shut down by a Nox because every time I wanted to drop kick, she just silenced me. And I hate Nox now. Not really, but I kind of.
Dude, I miss the Divine Win from the old one, where you could actually like push your allies.
Yeah. That was sick. Oh, did they change it? You can't push allies now? Because the item's still in there.
No, yeah, you can push people, but you can't push your allies.
God, I used to love like the beginning of the match. You just watch a teammate just absolutely obliterate you or someone else into the pit.
Oh, here I got this video clip for you to check out. It's a very well, it's karma in 60 seconds. It's essentially me harassing one of my buddies when we were playing together, and I pushed him off. It was like 5 times.
Oh no!
We were down. It was like fucking 6-4 tickets or something like that at the very end, and Anith backflipped away, right? Because we were up in her face. I was on Kuzenbo. She backflips away. But then the 2 people I was playing with, one Divine Wind pushed the dude that I kept pushing in, but as soon as he got hit, he had also been aiming it at me, and he just slides it right over and just fucking pushes me right off, so it's like a chain reaction. I fall off into the pit, die, give Neath the kill, and we lose.
Oh my god, dude. I'm like halfway through the clip. This is so... Yeah. This is so bad. You literally just keep pushing him over.
It's the same guy. Like, I don't feel bad. I was fucking laughing the entire time because like I got him like a good 4 or 5 times, and it would be like,
oh my god, I just saw it. The push in to give the win, dude. Oh my god, it's so good. Yo, I'll put that in the podcast description if anybody wants to watch it. That's too good.
Yeah, and it's like he literally, he was in comms. He left. He's like, fuck this. And he just left the game for 5 minutes, comes back. And then you can't tell in that video, but there's one. He came back, right? Mm-hmm. Walks out of base immediately. I push him into the pit again. That's what one of them was like. The one right after he says an ally has left, the very next push was like literally 10 seconds after he came back, and I just fucking push him back in again. It's like,
oh no, that's crazy. On a side note, that fly that was flying around before we started recording has been bugging me the whole time. I just caught it, so that fly can kick rocks. I'm done with it. I had some guest questions for you. There aren't a ton, some of which we've already answered. And then we can go and talk about our topic real quick. Jade Flagon wants to know why you hate your mic and why you hit it every 15 minutes.
It talks shit. It runs its mouth a lot. And talk shit, get hit. You know, mama didn't raise no bitch.
Yo, that's what you gotta do, man.
Mm-hmm,
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Swab wants to know why I'm so handsome. We don't need this. We can skip that.
It's the beard. That's why I grow one too.
Dude, Long hair and a beard is a time. I've never had long hair, but I'm kind of digging it now.
Yeah, I wish I could pull that off, but there's like this big old spot of nothing growing.
I got you.
I don't have like the complete bald spot, but it's noticeably thinned. So I need to actually go through. I've been a little lazy on cutting my hair.
Well, you did a sweet Zhang Kui cosplay though.
Honestly, that's why I waited to cut my hair, is because that wouldn't have looked as good bald.
I agree.
By the way, that was one of my first emotes I added to my Twitch channel.
Nice, dude.
And I was like, man, what do I call this? And I'm like, oh, yo, big fan.
Yes.
So that's the Fro Double big fan.
That's sick. I love it. Willow came in, just says, miss you, buddy. Love you. He didn't even have a question. He just wanted to make a statement. We like that.
Oh, man.
Depp came in. Depp comes in. If Fro was picked as the god for drunk lore, what would be the defining moment of his mythology? I might have the answer for this for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't there a time, I think you were playing like Assault or Arena, and that you were, I think it was you, you talked about on BOTG, and you got so drunk you just left the game. Oof. Like you're like, I'm just not coming. You're like, I'm gone, and you just left.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
So it very much so did happen. We were.
Yeah, that has to be it. That has to be the defining moment, dude.
So I'm trying to remember if that was a day we did a drunk lore episode. Or
I can't remember.
If it was a day we had Duke Sloth on. I think it was the day we had Duke Sloth on, though.
I think it has to be the Duke Sloth. I don't think it was drunk lore.
And it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get me a fucking vodka and squirt. And that just continued until like 1 a.m. in the morning. At one point, or the end of it, I was on my Switch, right? I remember I was at my old house. I'm sitting in my living room. I'm playing on my Switch because, didn't have a PC or anything at that time. And we're loading up.
Yep.
And everything's going just fine. For whatever reason, sitting there staring at that loading screen was like, oh, now is not the time. And so I was like,
when it finally hits, dude.
The game, it loads up, like, literally loads up. And as soon as it does, I was like, all right, guys, I got to go. And they're like right now? I'm like, yep. Take care.
Yeah, peace out, dude. Good luck.
I just shut off my Switch, and yeah, I didn't make it. The stairs were a bit of a trouble, but I made it up the stairs.
That's the worst, dude. I've been there. There was a time I'll share because why not? I think it was my 25th birthday. We went out, and people were like, a bunch of friends came out. We went out to a piano bar. Dueling pianos, and people were buying me drinks, but it was all different types of alcohol, which not the best idea ever. On the way home, while my wife's driving, I have my head out the window, and I'm like, I understand why dogs do this now. Like that's where I was at in the level of drunkenness that I'd reached.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was so bad. It was so bad.
I got a picture for you because the same exact thing happened to me one time. Right, I don't drink that much. I used to drink a little bit.
I drink like maybe once or twice a year now, and I think I can blame that moment in time for why.
So my best friend is a brewer at the local brewery. Not like a huge one, but I mean he does couple 1,000 gallons of beer a year. He also free beer, and now he does.
Oh no!
And he shares a lot, right?
Yo, that definitely. If I would have had a dog in the car, that's 100% me.
Yeah, this was. There's one gas station because I live in kind of like BFE.
Yeah.
There's one gas station that's an all-nighter that has a Subway in it that's also all-nighter. Mainly because there's a factory just down the road. Or
Right,
two
right, right.
factories, you know.
Gotta have something
So this
to eat,
was like
yep.
a 3 a.m. like we're running the Subway moment. And yeah, this is his dog just like chilling on my lap because I did the whole head out the window thing too, and I'm like, God damn, this feels nice, and just passed out.
Yeah,
So,
I think I
to
passed
make it
out
even
after that.
better, the whole
no.
way back, we were being followed by a county boy.
Oh, great.
Which, no big deal. The driver, definitely sober. Obviously, the passenger wasn't. Or passengers.
Yeah.
But yeah, and all they did is they just followed us right till my buddy pulled into his driveway, and that just kept
Yeah, at
going.
least that's nice.
Yeah. Again, it's just, we're probably the only car they'd seen for the past, like, 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're just doing due diligence at that point. You know, or just wanted to do something rather than sit there and watch nothing. I get it. Malarian comes in with, what is the meaning in life and why?
What
All
is
right,
the
well,
meaning of life and why?
Yeah. That's a doozy of a question. You know what?
Well,
I'm going to say this right now. Malarian, if you listen to this podcast, DM me, because I don't think you do. I think you just typed a question to do this. I know Mill pretty well. Been gaming with that man for like 6 years. Maybe long. Actually, no longer than that. Oh my God. Like 10 years. I don't know if I believe this. But
it's a
Embright.
very deep philosophical question.
Embright wants to know why you're an
Afro
Afro main.
Is about getting good at Smite.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm failing, because I can't do that.
Embright wants to know why you're an Afro main and did we level up?
Big ass titties. I mean, I used to be an Afro main because I enjoy playing healers. Just about every game I do play healers. Although, as the years have gone on, I have drifted away from Smite healers. I feel because they're just not as enjoyable. They feel a lot more dirty.
Yeah.
And also because I play a lot of Assault. And I'm not the mathematician, Blaise, you are. Yeah. But I am an idiot who may or may not pick up on things. So it seems like, because if one team gets a healer, the other team gets a healer, right? It just seems like the chances of a healer showing up in Assault seem extra high. Because if everybody, right, has the 1 in whatever chance to get whoever, it's like we had 118 gods right now, right? So you got 1 in 118 chance to get whoever. But if one on either side, right, ping up a healer, that means the other side is forced to have a healer. And again, I'm not the mathematician, but that just seems like there's an extra chance of getting a healer in your Assault matches because it always fucking happens. And so I've just gotten a little more bored of them.
Yeah, I feel that. And like
again, it could be all
and the
anecdotal.
Tier system feels
it could
weird.
Be what's the fucking illusion of, because it seems like you notice a trend, but it's not actually there.
I know what you mean, but I mean, like, it definitely is, though, because, like, you're going to see more now because of the fact that they require each team to have a healer. So, like, it's definitely happening. It's like when you buy a car, and then you start seeing more of that car around.
Well, you're not required to have a healer in Assault, but if one team has one, the other team gets one.
Right. I get I get what you mean.
I just want to clarify for if there's any, like, real noob Assault players listening. I don't mean noob in a mean way, just like noob to Assault.
Buying tier 1 items all the way out. Yeah, I got you.
Oh my God.
Embright wants to know, did we level up? And I don't know what that refers to.
I know what that refers to. Old meme from our D&D campaign.
Okay.
Because I love D&D. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I actually have a Discord that's all about Dungeons and Dragons that's open to the public for people to try to find games, to stream their games, or if they want people to like sit in and listen, etc., etc., etc. we had one guy who, I mean, you like shoot a squirrel and that's a level, right?
Yeah.
Like every other session's like, did we level up? It's like, dude, we argued over whether we think this fucking piece of steak is poisoned for an hour and a half. No, we didn't fucking level up. Like, we poked at a door with a stick for 45 fucking minutes to see if it was trapped, just to realize that, hey, it's not trapped. Like,
Yeah,
no,
we didn't do anything.
Level up. We didn't do shit.
That's funny, dude. I've only played D&D once. It was a fun time, but I've only played one time.
Oh, I love D&D. I am in 2 weekly games. One I DM, the other I play. But the one I play in we have someone that lives in Saskatchewan, another person that lives in Norway, so timing is a bit of an issue, or scheduling.
Liani comes in and says, what or who got you into content creation? I guess this kind of goes into something we were going to talk about after questions, was like, what got you into podcasting? I'm assuming it was VD2, right? I never got to listen to VD2.
Is this your last question, or one of the last ones? Because this will go right into that for sure.
I can skip this question for a second, and we can answer the other ones real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you what to do on your own show, but
no, I'm down for that
section.
Yeah,
like,
I'm down for that.
Well.
He came in and also said, have you ever been in an amateur Smite competitive team? If so, what was your experience like? And I know
I was on 2 different teams. They were both one in the Exilium League, which you don't know what Exilium is. Well, it's a hell of a ride.
Yeah, ask me, I'll tell you in a separate chat.
Yeah. Or do some Google. Check some Twitters, some Twitlongers. You'll get some interesting story. TLDR, they're not around anymore. But I was in the Exilium, and I had tried to put together a bronze team. Right, because how they did their team averages, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I did rank back in the day, I got up to plat, and then I just kind of stopped playing. I also, same time, I was a plat solo player, right? I think I got up to plat 2, but then I quit playing solo. And then I also quit playing ranked for the most part as well. Probably could have got to diamond. Like, I didn't super grind, so that was one of the things I always wanted to do. I should still probably go in and try to do it again. But anyways, I got into a team that we got put into the bronze to gold, I want to say, or it may have been plat division.
I think it was bronze to gold. I think you're right.
I actually tried to put together a team that was just all my friends, but we averaged out to be in the lower division. Unfortunately, I was the only console ADC in this entire league.
Oh, God.
So it was rough at times. Luckily, I got put in a meta where mages were being played a lot over there. So I was able to, compensate pretty decently by playing the mages. Then I got into I don't remember the name of that team. Was that the top tier trolls?
I think so, because the other one was the towel one, right? No? What was the name of the other team? I think it was top tier trolls was the first one for sure, because the other one was in the BOTG league, right?
Yep, and the other one was in the BOTG league, which again was in the bronze one. That one we had a bronze silver. We attempted, and I intentionally put together a team of people who were just like real lax. Like, I think we did a scrim a week for fun and our game. Like, we weren't looking for nothing serious. God, what the fuck was the name of that team?
Hold on, I can figure that out. I definitely have a Twitch VOD state of a cast I did for that one,
like,
I think.
Beer Run or something to beer.
Was it that one? Am I thinking of the wrong thing?
Yeah,
maybe I am.
Towel.
No, I'm
But
thinking that was Lantern's team I'm thinking about.
yep, he was bring a towel
Bring it, yeah.
because of the towely joke from South Park. I
Yeah.
don't remember ours. I think it was like Beer Run or something like that. It was not the best joke, but getting people to agree isn't the easiest thing. But yeah, so I mean, I guess I have amateur league experience, but it was all very, very lax. Like, we're not, like, we'll try to play some games as a 5-man in like a comp setting, but we were not like looking to go pro by any means, nor were we looking to go semi-pro or anything like that.
Yeah, just looking to chill and
a
have fun.
Yeah, just having fun. I do have a little experience with actually running the league, as Blaise kind of mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but
Yes,
I
it
just
is.
really didn't have. I couldn't continue to commit the time, so didn't last for too terribly long.
Yeah, there was just a lot of things going on. Like we had so many like player experience issues. Like that it's wild to me. And I'll say this because I've helped Albion Giants too. If you're joining one of those leagues, those people do that for free. Like they're not making anything. Like it's strictly like them doing it for free, so that way you can have an experience to know what like competitive is like. Obviously, it's not the same as SML or SPL or SCC or whatever, but like it's so you can have that experience of like playing as a team and learning to grind together and have that and literally just have that experience and see what it's like. So if you're in one of those leagues, like have respect for the admins, know that they're doing what they can, but also know that they have a real life that is outside of Smite the video game and your and your league. Like it does take time for them to respond. They have jobs, they have other things going on. Because that's one thing that's always mind-boggling to me is when people get so upset at like admins, and it's like, dude, they're doing the best they can and they do it for free. They do it for free.
One that upset me was like we had in our rules,
yeah,
right, that hey, this is a living doc. We're gonna change as needed. The one day someone, I'm not gonna get into the full details of what it was, but we had an incident where we didn't actually have a rule for what was going on. So because of what was happening and everyone was talking shit, there was like 15 people running their mouths.
Yeah,
some were saying
bad,
good, some were saying bad. I say running their mouths as a very generic. No positive, negative there. But so we started, me specifically, was typing out a new rule, right, to add to it. I think it was something about like being respectful to the admins or something.
Yeah,
like
because it was an issue like in an in-game lobby of a casual game where they saw an admin and just were like going in on the admin for no reason.
Yeah, trying to get everyone to report said admin.
Yeah, which is a TOS ban, by the way. Pretty sure. And we were like, yo.
We did have in rules, like, hey, if you're doing stuff against TOS, that's against this. So, and I think that person did end up getting a ban from the Discord.
They did, and then they were brought back in later on. It was a whole bit of shenanigans. I remember that night, though, because I dealt with that until like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I dealt with that until like fucking 11 when I'm like, yo, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I was.
It was very unfortunate
remember
because I was the admin for that particular league, but it's like, yo, I got shit to do, and that's why I was like, I got to work tomorrow. I'm not paid to be here. The ruling was made, dude. They were screenshotting because I think it was a Google Doc.
Yes,
we were shared it, and they were screenshotting where it says that I was editing stuff. And then, like, sharing that around on Twitter, like, look at this bullshit. And then, like, posting it in Rathan's Discord. Look what this fucker's doing. It's like, yo, you literally bitch about how there's not a rule.
We made a rule. So and then you're mad. You're mad that there's now a rule.
And then you're bitching that we're making a rule.
Imagine, dude.
It's like, yo.
So crazy.
Yo.
Imagine.
What type of up your own ass thinking is that?
Colorado comes in and says, why do you keep saying you're out of your prime when you play Smite? Are you a fantasy novel fan? If so, what series? Those are his two questions.
Because I'm washed as fuck. I used to be, I don't know. I have talked about this. It's hard to say whether I'm out of my prime or if I've just like dropped in other areas while like improving in others.
Right, which does happen.
You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
Like when I played solo, I could tell you matchups. I could tell you the items to build. I could tell you like, each and every person. Do you level your 1? Do you level your 2, your 3? In what situations? Like, I used to go a little ham on that, right?
Yeah.
I'd have like item numbers nailed down. I'd have prices like it costs this amount of gold nailed down. I was a little younger. I also had a lot more time to play.
Yeah, I think there's just like a lot of factors that go into that.
Yeah. Now on PC, I think it's like a little mechanically a little easier, but I may or may not be about the same because, my reflexes aren't as fast. 5 years, 6 years slows you down a little bit. And then there's just other things where it's like I've played so much more Conquest that like I understand. Just like I don't have to know the exact meta to just know like, group the fuck up.
Right.
Like I don't care what the meta is at 30 minutes, group the fuck up.
Yeah, we were in a game a couple weeks ago and you're like, can we just group and end this please? I'm like, yes, please let us group and end the game.
Yeah, there's a certain point where it's like, dude, I don't give it. Make any fucking call and it is better than all of us doing fucking nothing.
Yep. Either lose together or win together. One of the two. Pick. I know that's
right. A couple of years ago, I might have been like, no, I'm gonna farm up, get this. I'm only level 18. I'm gonna get that last level. It's like, well, I don't give a fuck what level you are. You're not here. You're not helping.
Yep. Agreed. See that way too often in my casuals.
So yeah. I just don't feel like I'm as good as I used to, or at least feel like I've improved since then.
I feel that. Do you have a favorite fantasy novel or series?
So I haven't read a hell of a lot in a few years. My consumption of media has turned a lot more into audio based. I was a fan of the Harry Potter series. Yeah.
Yo, can I tell you a Harry Potter thing real quick that was said to me literally before this podcast tonight? You ready for this?
It's going to derail, but I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, dude. This hurt to hear today. They're called Slytherin because snakes be slithering.
Yeah, that's accurate.
It is accurate. My wife said that to me tonight before the podcast. She goes, yo, did you know that they're called Slytherin because snakes be slithering? And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. She goes, just thought about it. Just hit me. Just right now. And I was like, I got to tell Fro this in a few minutes.
You know why it's Ravenclaw and they use an eagle?
Probably because they have claws.
Raven referring to black. And then claw, black claw. Eagles have black claws.
Yeah. I like it. Things that make sense, No,
like that is the thing. That's what Rowling herself has said.
No, but I'm saying like I like things that make sense. Like I like that.
I don't know. Ravenclaws are black too, and the name is Ravenclaw. Just pick a fucking raven. That'd be convenient.
Yeah, I would have assumed it was, raven and claws.
But to be fair, it's Gryffindor, and they use a lion, not a griffin. So
yeah, here we are, dude. What a timeline.
Here we are.
And then we already answered
Just
Embright's question.
Turn that shit back, and we'll fix it.
Embright said, "How do you personally counteract toxicity?" And we got that. And how do you deal with people being upset for no reason? We kind of dealt with that earlier.
Insert Joker aggressive, but instead of expansion, just put. Oh fuck! What did I say earlier? I had it.
Yeah. Don't worry. They can rewind and find it. It's okay.
Oh, aggressive anti-toxicity approach.
There we go. Yes. And then Vio typed this while we're recording. Literally like 15 minutes ago.
Mid-recording. Hot off the press.
Yep, hot off the presses. How do you deal with burnout in either games or running a podcast? And what keeps you going back every week to either one?
Yo, I thought that I misheard that at first. I thought you said, how do you do a burnout? And then you're like, in games, in a podcast. I'm like, well, in games you hold X. In podcasts, I don't understand the question. But then it realizes, how do you deal with burnout? It's like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, burnout with games, play something else.
Yeah, agree. That's what I do. Take a break.
Quit playing.
Yeah, take a break.
Yeah, like,
there's really nothing better you can do.
The past month and a half has been real light in the Smite department for me. And I'm taking a bit of a break because I don't want to quit playing Smite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. For instance,
yeah, we did our diamond challenges. I'm infamous for not completing these motherfuckers because I hit burnout with playing those gods so fast because I just haven't really enjoyed most of the gods I've got.
Yeah,
I just quit doing it.
I still have to finish mine because I was the dummy that was like, oh, only 1,400 worshippers for a second star, or from going from diamond to 2 stars on Danzim, or no, 3 stars on 2 stars on Danziburrow. Yeah, let me do that. Not there yet, Fro. Not there.
Yeah,
it's a rough time to be alive.
You got a month and a half though.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm close. I've just taken way more time than I normally do. But I agree. Like if you're burned out, just play something else. Go play Super Auto Pets on Steam for free and like just chill on that. It's really mind numbing, but like also satisfying to play.
If you don't know what Super, you mind if I plug a little something?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't know what Super Auto Pets is, we have a. I actually know, Blaise. It's kind of you too included. There is the Bunch of Terrible Players YouTube.
Yeah.
And our boy Sadons, who I mentioned earlier, is doing a playthrough of Super Auto Pets.
Let's go. I didn't even know that.
And real quickly, yeah. And also real quickly, Bunch of Terrible Players is essentially just a collection of a bunch of us that are basically, we upload our VODs, live plays, commentary games, stuff like that. Just a real mix of people, mix of games. Come check it out.
Yeah.
Still waiting on Blaise to start uploading his VODs.
I know, I need to do that. I'm so behind on so many things. I'm supposed to be editing like compilation stuff for my stuff. It's a mess, dude.
No, you're good. I'm just talking shit.
No, you're good.
I started doing that. That's what I did. Some of the. I decided some games I'm gonna do VODs because then we got other ones where it's like Backlash and I are playing Halo, and we'll do like playthroughs.
Yeah.
And we'll do the individual levels. We'll upload, but then other ones like Borderlands, it's like there's no fucking levels. I'm just gonna upload VODs. Like this is what I did today.
Yeah, I've been uploading casts that I do, but I eventually want to get to like putting plays together and stuff, or like actually like breaking down a god for a game or something on Smite. I'm working on some different stuff, trying to figure that out right now.
Yeah, I also want to lean into some of the editing stuff a little more. I need to find something. I'm not going to be the next Boom. I'm not going to be the next BMT. I'm not going to be the next fucking Mithy Moo with his god guides or
right.
I don't.
I'm just doing it to have fun.
I'm too ADD to actually do a regular standard god guide. So it's like, man, what would I edit?
Yeah, I got you. On the sense of running a podcast, Fro's been doing that a lot longer than I have. And that kind of goes with our other questions. So I guess this will lead into the podcast time. I can tell you on my front, like I've only, like this is like episode, I believe 33 or 34. I think it's 33. I've just been enjoying it, man. Like I just enjoy doing it. Like I got inspiration from being on BOTG like years ago, where I did an episode with Danny Boy before Worlds, and I was like, "Yo, I think that's something I'd like to do, but I need to like put an idea together and like make sure I have a concrete idea before I take that leap." And then I did another episode for BOTG League, I think, at one point. And like I just think it's fun. Like I just enjoy talking about video games each week, but I also enjoy talking about like gaming topics that people don't like necessarily want to talk about. Heads up, there's going to be an Activision episode coming soon for all that nightmare of a situation that is. But I just enjoy talking about games. So that's why I do it. And I haven't felt burnout from the podcast side of things yet. I'm sure there'll be a point that I do. But I always try to just make sure each week feels fresh in some extent. I don't know if you want to add on to that, Fro.
Honestly, with the burnout with the podcast, same thing. Taking breaks. I think I went 25 episodes of BOTG or more before I missed an episode, because I'm like, yo, I'm just never gonna miss an episode, right? Dedication. So especially with BOTG, because we're so Smite oriented, we don't talk about playing any other game. I mean, we'll do loosely,
yeah,
but it's not like, how are your games this week? Oh, well, I had really fun. I was playing Borderlands. Like, I could have, went on here.
Right.
Over there, it's just a lot more.
You're more niche. You're
you're
stuck
games.
to Smite. Yeah. And I don't want to use the word stuck, but you're concentrated on Smite. That's the more accurate term.
Right. It's my focus, however you want to say it. There's only, I'm not like no English major. There's only so many ways I know how to say I made a good play, or I got outplayed, or we were pretty evenly matched.
Right.
There's variables, there's way you can mix it up, game modes, gods, situations, I was playing solo in a party, etc., etc., etc. There are variables that keep it fresh in its own right. Sometimes it's not fresh. Right? So sometimes, like, taking a break is actually kind of good for you, because it's like, I got 2 weeks of games to talk about. Because in that 2 weeks, only one game was worth talking about.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes. I think there is a bit of a benefit that we have so many hosts, too.
Yeah, that does help, for sure.
Because we try to usually have at least 3 people on per episode. That's like 3 people minimum, but 4 is our goal. Because even with, just 4 people, if we go on for 2 hours and, average out the time, that's only 30 minutes of talking each person.
Yeah.
Realistically. So it's like, you don't have to deal with the burnout as far as like not knowing what to say.
I can definitely see that.
The scheduling is still a bit of a burnout somewhat. And that just, the best advice I can give for that is a consistent time.
Yeah.
It really, really helps.
Like, I'll be honest, for me, I just try to go, I'm like, hey, for the peeps I usually record with, which is usually at this point, Liani, Boss, Suave, and sometimes Nefrail. Nefrail's been on one episode, but expressed interest in being a host. My goal is for them not to have to record with me every week. Like, if it's just 2 of us, preferably 3. Like, 3 feels so good to have at one time on one episode. But like a couple weeks ago,
3 on this. Sorry.
You're good.
My ADD kicked in. Sometimes I just start talking before I realize. I'm like, oh shit, you were talking.
Well, I was to say, like, one of the things I did, and like you talked about this, is like getting be able to have 2 weeks of games. Like, people don't realize, like, a couple weeks ago, like, we talked about the state of MMOs because it gave me time to have 2 weeks worth of games, which is something I can do because it switches the topic to something strictly focused on one thing that can move us away from our general format. And like, that's something that we do here just to try to be like, hey, I don't want to feel the burnout, so why don't we like do something like focused on one thing just so we can like switch it up for a week. But again, we have that leisure just because of the way it's formatted. But yeah, I agree. Like, just being able to like switch it up and then have that 2 weeks or have extra hosts, that definitely helps out.
Not being focused on the one game will also kind of helps you guys out too.
Yeah.
Being able to get away with 3 people versus 4, because like, excuse me. Again, being, focused on the one game, not always having the hype games, the fact that we have the 4 people to pull from really helps out.
Yeah. Like, someone had a good game.
A variety of games. You can talk about things that, maybe aren't necessarily the most exciting if you're, trying to, get the hardcore of that particular game. But for the casual person who might pick it up and play it for a weekend like us, it is still a laugh.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I mentioned the Borderlands Tiny Tina thing. If you're a hardcore Borderlands person, you don't give a fuck about me playing that because you beat that 4 or 5 years ago, and you've probably beaten many of the other Borderlands, and you're all about that, right? You need something more exciting for you. For someone like Backlash or Lantern or Lovey Dovey, they haven't played Borderlands.
Yeah, it's a great way to introduce to the game.
Yeah,
and it's free.
And they all like D&D.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're just fucking loving it. Like the first joke in it, right? Well, okay, I can't say the first joke. The first like joke boss.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you start the game, it's within a fucking minute, right? So no real spoilers here. It's some like big ass invincible dragon that you shoot it, can't do damage, and the whole thing is it's being quote unquote DM'd by this person who's talking to you throughout the radio, and it's some young girl, and she's like, it's a badass dragon, and your weapons do no damage. You're like, oh well, fuck, what do I do? And then the dragon like flies above you and just knocks everybody to the ground, right? And it's got like a Call of Duty, you can be revived thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what the fuck, right? And it's like you're like, whoa, that's fucking bullshit as a player, and you get a second to like dwell on that, but then your quote unquote players in the D&D-ish game, because it's like you're supposed to be in a fake D&D campaign, they're like, yo, you can't do that. And she's like, oh shit, okay, so you all like get up, right? And then she like changes the dragon into a skeleton. So yeah,
nice.
It's just supposed to be like a joke thing. Your regular Borderlands people, they don't give a fuck about that.
No, they don't. But
like, yeah, we know about that joke. It's old.
There was a ton of people hype about that going free though. Like, I think because it gives them a chance to get these people into a game that may have not played it before. And Borderlands 2 is relatively cheap most of the time now, especially like Black Friday and holidays coming up. Like that game comes up for really cheap, if not free, often.
I do got to clarify this too before Backlash fucking comes at me. I said he hasn't played it. He has played Borderlands. Likes the Borderlands. I'm sorry. He got grouped in with Lovey and Lantern, who haven't played it.
Oh,
I have to clarify before
it'll be okay.
Fucking my DMs get blown up,
He's a Neath, man. He's used to, some slander here or there. It's all right. Is he still a Neath, man?
Hardcore considering if we replace our Neath emote in BOTG with my Neath emote.
Oh, you should. I support it 100%. Okay, so a question we asked earlier, but leads into our last topic to talk about is what or who got you into content creation?
Yeah, so you're right earlier when you said VD2 or defend middle lane. Essentially, Bryce, who we also brought up, he is one of the co-hosts on BotG, but he comes up very rarely at this point.
Yeah.
He was a part of a podcast previously called Defend Middle Lane. That was a Smite-focused podcast, along with Madman Matt, Happiness, and Micromanatee, a.k.a. Brian, Matt, and Flint. So they end up switching because they were dealing with some burnout amongst all of them. And they decided to stop making the Smite podcast. Well, I was a huge fan of these guys. Like, they would release their episode Wednesday nights or Tuesday nights, and I'd be like, I was working third shift at the time, and it's like, tell my coworkers, yo, fucking midnight, don't talk to me. I say 10, they'd drop my midnight. I'd be like, yo, fucking midnight hits, don't talk to me. I'm listening to my podcast for the next hour and a half. Like, fucking leave me alone. Right? Every week, like, I was in there. At first they did a Twitch chat, or like a Twitch, I don't even remember how the fuck it was done. It was like a Discord, right? Because this is before I had Twitter, before all that shit. I didn't have a Discord at this point. They got me to download a Twitch when I heard this podcast, because I would purely just get all my gaming consumption stuff through YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually I ended up downloading Twitch, had the little Twitch chat. Then they switched over to Discord, so I downloaded Discord and hopped in their Discord. So I was a big fan of the guys. So I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna have a podcast, and like, I feel personally like I feel kind of upset and really bummed out. And I'm like, there's got to be other people too who, like, if they are even just half as bummed out as I am about, like, there not being a Smite podcast to listen to, I'm gonna make one. That's what it's just like. It seemed like a simple thing. It's like,
Right.
I'm upset about this thing not existing. There has to be other people upset about this too. I'm gonna change that. So I hopped into their Discord, and I'm like, yo, who the fuck wants to make a podcast? And I'd already been talking with Famous Freak at that point too, because I played with him a lot, because both PlayStation.
Yeah.
And we end up hooking up with a few folk there. Our boy Adios, because none of us were PC.
Mm-hmm.
Adios helped us out on being like an admin for the Discord for us, because he would have to do a lot of the perms for.
Yeah.
Like,
yo, shout out to Adios,
because we couldn't do it. A sleeper man.
Yeah.
Adios, big nice guy.
Yeah, I saw him in a chat the other day. I think it was in your chat. And I was like, Adios, what up? Maybe it was yours, or maybe it was Kenny. I don't remember. I saw him and I was like, I haven't seen Adios in like literal months. So it felt good to see Adios around.
Busy guy.
Yeah.
Busy guy. But yeah, so basically then we got together and started doing this, and slowly it evolved into where we're at now. I think we're almost at like 187, 188 episodes.
Close to that 200 mark, man.
And there's a few like Patreon exclusive. We were doing like some of the monthly tier ones, and then we switched away from that, and like Rick and Riggs got their SPL ones that they do for the Patreon too. So there's actually like quite a few up there. Since then I've been, I don't know, I just really liked podcasting as well. Like you said, it was just very enjoyable.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Speaking of SPL real quick, Zeus was played today I don't know if you know this, but Zeus was played and then banned every game after that in one set today.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was a time to be alive as a Zeus player.
Although, I mean, I did watch the Worlds where Zeus won doing the fucking Uncle Zeus skin with Venenu.
I watched a Gold Fury die in under 5 seconds today at 12 minutes into a game.
Well, that's probably not healthy for the game.
No, it was Zeus, Ganesha, and I don't even remember who else. But Ganesh ult plus Zeus ult, and then whoever the ADC was, boom.
That's appropriate. That's appropriate. Yeah, I take everything back.
Yeah, it was scary though. Like they just showed up to Gold Fury and it died, and I was like, oh, I see.
Yeah, sometimes if someone makes that fucking Gold Fury call, just kind of maybe go with it. Sometimes
just if there's a Ganesh and a Zeus on your team, just roll with it, dude. Just roll with it. But yeah, man, it has been sick having you on the podcast. I know we went pretty long, but it has been enjoyable having you on.
Sorry, I ramble.
Nah, you're good, dude. I always like when the episodes get to go a little bit longer, because sometimes like we record for half an hour and I'm like, is that too short? But then people are like, yo, I enjoy those half an hour episodes too. And I'm like, oh, okay, sick. But do you have anybody
Oh, well, I fucked that all up. My bad.
Nah, dude, it's fine, because last week was like 30 minutes. So this is like a really good offset for that. I like that. I actually like to like try to make it between like an hour to an hour and a half, because I feel like I've then accomplished my goal for the day. If I go over that, then I've over accomplished and I'm okay with it. But do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Shit. Oof. Boy, there's a lot of people here.
Runs through
recently, it's been a lot of the people supporting me in my stream, as I got affiliated and all that. So big shout out to that. First sub, Stoffmeister. So I guess, yeah, he gets a big shout out.
Let's go.
Along with Lantern and Chaotic Soul. Probably my other co-hosts, because obviously I couldn't bear without them. Everyone who helped me get Olympian way back when. I know it was a while back, but that's been pretty dope. Like I said, I still basically can't do most of those things. So everyone who helped me out there, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
For sure, dude. Anytime.
All the community members I've had. Fuck. A lot of people.
Well,
the Smite community. I mean, honestly, let's be real.
Yeah.
That's where I've built and established myself, and most of y'all some cool fuckers.
For sure.
Oh, shit. My wife and family.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta say, wife, got big support from the wife to make this all possible. Blaise, I know you understand.
100%.
Especially when it comes to being the parenting aspect, too.
Yeah, I actually...
Not just us making the sacrifice to be here.
Yeah. I actually looked at my wife and I was like, yo, you mind if I go record early? And she's like, yeah, that's fine with me. And I was like, okay, sick. I didn't know if that was going to be more of a conversation or not. But she was like, yeah, go ahead. I'm cool. And I was like, dope. You know, I don't ever shout out my wife. Maybe I have shouted out my wife once. I don't know. Anyways, either way, I shout out my wife too and my kids. My kids are pretty dope sometimes, most of the time. Except when they wake me up at 3 a.m. That's not cool. Not about it. Okay? They need to go to bed. That's just my thoughts on
my
it.
kid, like, fucking wakes up like she's possessed by a demon and starts hollering shit out sometimes. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
At like 4 a.m. in the morning.
You're like, yes, thank you. And then you're up. But also I want to shout out BOTG, man. I really appreciate it because I think it's funny. Like, I remember my wife got into podcasts and she's like, have you ever tried listening to podcasts? I was like, no. I wonder if there's Smite podcasts. And then I think I was watching, oh, dang it. I remembered his name the other day. And now, Matt Accountant. Almost forgot. I was watching Matt Accountant and he had talked. I love Matt Accountant, dude.
Such a sweetheart.
He was talking about, oh yeah, I'm doing this BOTG episode. And I was like, what the heck is BOTG? And it was literally like the night I had talked to my wife. I was like, man, I need to see if I can find a Smite podcast. So that's how I found BOTG. And then I just like speed ran all the episode. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. It was like same day. I was like, yeah, I wonder if there's Smite podcasts. And I was watching him. I randomly stumbled across his stream. And I was like, yo, this guy's sick. And he's talking about being on a podcast. I'm going to go listen to that. And I speed ran from there. Shout out to Nikki Six. What a legend.
Oh boy.
If he had lasted any longer, I don't know if I would have been able to keep listening. Because that was a rough time, dude. Oh.
Everyone has their favorite and everyone has their least favorite co-host.
Oh yeah. For sure.
I will say that. Although it is one thing, it does suck a little bit when someone's like, yeah, you're my least favorite co-host.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I've never had someone tell me that. Like, feel free, people. If it's honest, like, whatever. The truth hurts, bitch, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I've never had anyone actually say that. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how I found out. I just shout out to BOTG because that's how.
There we go. Sorry.
That's how I got to this point.
That's another thing that's amazing about the Smite community is like how like the web at the bottom can work, right?
Yeah.
Because Matt Accountant was never a huge streamer.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Right? Although he was growing at a pretty decent pace.
He definitely was.
Like back when we started, like Wraithen wasn't that big. Granted, he played a lot with
Inbound.
With Weekend.
Yeah.
Because Inbound wasn't pro at that time.
No, he wasn't.
Bobby wasn't pro at that. Like, it's just like amazing how like the little people kind of like build upon each other. Like Wraith and I being Olympian at the same time. Granted, he's obviously way more predominant in the Smite community than my dumbass is because he's growing a lot faster and all that other stuff. And I'm also not really too fucking concerned about growth because Smite podcasts are
right.
Well, I think we've peaked, but you know what?
But who cares?
We're still making them.
Yeah, who cares?
As long as we try to keep it fresh and interesting. If Smite grows, we'll grow.
Exactly.
That's where we're at.
And as long as you're enjoying it, who matters? I mean, not who matters. What does it matter? Jeez Louise, words are hard. But yeah, man, like I think about that because like that was like for me, like that was a turning point. Like I played Smite solo for years. I did not play with anybody. I played by myself. That's the only way I played until I had like watched Matt Accountant streams and I joined him for like a game or two. And then I got in the BOTG community and that's when I actually like started playing with people. And like, I still think back to like, I randomly tuned into Rick's stream one day and that's how I got into comp was because he's like, man, is anybody in the chat? Can they play solo? And at that point, like no lie, I had played maybe 10 Conquest games, but I'd played so much League. I was like, yo, I could play solo. Like as long as you're cool with me playing like Jing Chen or something. And he was like, dope. And that I still have the Fire Giant Steel clip of that night when I joined randomly for scrims. And absolutely, I stole Fire Giant against 5 people with Xingqian ult. And I remember I soloed Chamberlain, who was on Merlin, like multiple times as Xingqian. I was like, these people have to be mad that they just got some random sub that came in and was able to like body their mid laner as the solo player.
If you want more information on who this Chamberlain person is, getting soloed by Xingqian on Merlin, go back and do some more research on that Exilium. It was justified, and that felt great to hear.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I ran into her and maybe her husband or somebody from that community a few months ago in casuals and stomped them. I was like farming them at tier 2 while tier 1 was up. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, like that was like a huge turning point for like me and Smite, because like I at that point, like I was just hitting arena queues as a solo player or playing like some Clash or something, because I didn't want to go into Conquest because I had a little kid and I was like, well, the games go too long. I'm a solo player. I really don't want to feel like getting BM'd right now if it's like League. I'm just gonna chill and just hit the arena queues. So I think that's one of my big shout outs, and probably I don't think many people know about me and Smite is like I literally just played by myself for years at a time.
I also brought this up on BOTG. A lot of the part of the reason I've also been not playing Smite as much is because I also have kind of gave up on solo queue because it's just not as enjoyable. And I also play a lot, so. Yeah, I say that, and I still queued up for like 3 games solo this week. But
yeah, I'm just to a point. If I'm playing solo, then I might as well just play ranked. Is kind of where I'm at, and that doesn't necessarily feel good a lot of the time. But right before we get out of here, I do want to mention me and Fro have been talking about. We talked about it the other day, and I actually like went and did some research, and I'm working on it. But we are possibly putting together a charity for a mental health organization. I'm still trying to go through and like do some more research on different organizations. But that's like things to come.
Basically, we want to make sure we find a good, legit one.
Yeah.
One that we can all agree upon.
Yep. I've done some research. I've been looking around. If you're a gamer and you want a mental health kit from Guardians of Mental Health, if you go to their website, you can check them out on Twitter too. They actually released, like, they partnered with Destiny this week. This has been like a long time coming, and they actually made Destiny themed mental health kits. So go check those out. You can sign up for one for free, and they'll send one to your house. And if you want to make a donation, you can. But like I said, we're looking at different organizations, and then hopefully we'll have something posted in the next couple of weeks about a charity event. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, let's get on out here. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.